I'm Jim Gefkin. I am a marketing representative for Bath Solutions, etc. in Bonita Springs, Florida. What I was trying to demonstrate to our owners was, is there truth to the theory that the more leads that you purchase is going to result naturally in more set appointments and more sales? And by cutting the data, we discovered that it does not. And in fact, in a lot of cases, there's the inverse relationship with where we buy more leads and we're going to see fewer sets and fewer sales. It opened up the discussion for my owners that, hey, lead volume probably shouldn't be the only play here. The play should really be in nurturing the relationship along the customer journey and crafting communications that are relevant for that. And then utilizing Hatch as a way of optimizing that experience through nurturing the relationship.
Let's say you had a speed to lead campaign and the automated campaign would go out, a contact would respond. Do you think you were losing people there because the human reps couldn't handle that higher level volume of responses?
That's entirely true. And so both is true that you're not nurturing the relationship because there's so much of it, but particularly at the early stages of inbound on lead, speed to lead, that the volume of communications that are getting pushed out, which just wasn't getting addressed. And they couldn't keep up. So we've seen, again, anecdotally from the call center, is they feel a lot better about managing the communications with customers now that Rachel or our bot has taken over that responsibility. They know that every single one of those leads that come in are going to be addressed in the first couple of minutes, and that's going to take them down the path with the bot. And then if there's a bailout where a rep has to take over, then yes. So we're able to maintain those conversations much better than had we just left it to a human being doing it. So we're using the bot for sure on all of the speed to lead activity for new leads that come in. We also have a 30 to 45 day no appointment campaign where if we detect that after having a customer who hasn't opted out or they haven't scheduled an appointment, we have a Hatch campaign go out automatically. Now, we don't have that yet tied to the bot, but something that I want to be able to develop. We also have a rehash campaign. An email program like MailChimp will not allow us to use any third-party leads when we're sending out marketing communications. They're disqualified. So only organic leads can be built into their marketing program. They wanted to utilize Hatch's email capabilities to reach those prospects for us and invite them to the open house. So Rachel intercepts the inbound lead that we get from, we have 10 to a dozen paid lead sources at any given time. And based on a script that we set up for her, kind of at the preliminary, I'd call this the disclosure conversation that we would have with the customer, kind of get the bare basics down. She kind of prompts them for those types of questions like, hi, I'm Rachel from Bath Solutions. Thank you for your outreach. Can you please tell me what zip code you're in so that we qualify them as in our sales territory? What kind of project are you looking for? And she knows which services or scope of services we don't provide and what we do provide so that she can proceed with the conversation. So essentially, she's going through the pre-qualification to where it can then pass off to a call center person for the scheduling or the setting of appointment. We set that up front in our onboarding sessions with Hatch. We had a discovery call and we actually go through setting up the business profile with all of that information with our services, our hours, our address, where we're located, all that kind of essential stuff. And then we say what our services are. A backstop is we also have trained Rachel to look for keywords that would exclude something. An example, if somebody said, I want to do reglazing of my bathtub, which is something that we don't do, Rachel then knows that the person says reglazing, then that's kind of a bailout. So she will politely sign off and say, we don't provide that service. You can, of course, reach us at this telephone number if we have anything else that we can provide for you. And then it will automatically go into the column of discards, I believe, on the dashboard where the call center rep can look through it and see if there's an opportunity for a follow-up. I know that early on in the setup, as Rachel was learning and as we were learning at the same time, there were some miscues or some responses that Rachel would provide that didn't quite answer what the customer was asking. And what a customer would be like, I saw one that was like, "Are you kidding me?" As though they really thought that Rachel was a person that was just asking this question that was inane. And so I knew, I could see that the person was like, who is this rep that I'm talking to on the phone, not realizing that it was a bot. So I chuckled because of that, because that's just part of the ramp up and the adjustment to the way that it worked. Really fast. I mean, we were hyper vigilant over the first couple of weeks at what the customer interactions were. So where I was looking at as many of the kind of customer interactions as possible so that I could see if there were any patterns or if there was something that was so out of line that it needed to be addressed. And there really weren't. I mean, Rachel did a pretty good job. There was some fine tuning that we expected that was addressed right away. And setting up rules and stuff with Rachel was on Rachel was something that had I do it day in and day out. And if there were instances where it was tricky, then the white glove team got involved. So that was fantastic. I would say that anytime there was an issue with a customer reaction and I served it up to my rep or consequently the white glove team, it was addressed within an hour. Even if it was, let me look into this for you, I knew it was going to be resolved. And I would probably say for sure resolved within 24 hours. The point being that I didn't have to worry that it was going to languish for days and days and days. It was addressed and it was corrected. And as a marketing manager, that is a huge value to me. So I, as a marketing person, keep an eye on Hatch as a platform, setting up campaigns, making adjustments to campaigns. I'm actually doing that execution myself. And sometimes I run into where I'm going to need the help of your folks if I run into a glitch. The call center's interaction with Hatch is really on the inbound interaction, mostly with the speed to lead campaign. So they will go up on the dashboard and they will see anything that is a required follow-up, or make sure if it's a bailout for what reason, or if it's a discard for what reason, or if there's something where I don't think it happens very often, Kristen, is where the customer will have a question question that's opposed to the bot that wasn't answered conclusively, and then we need to take it over and answer it. So they're involved only to the extent of where it pops up in that first column in their dashboard, and then they can kind of go through and interact. And there's really only one. Our call center is really light too. We have 2 people full-time and a third that floats. So I anticipated what a lot of people who don't understand the power of AI, or really even what it is, to be very delicate about that with the call center people. They're hourly, they get a small commission based on certain stuff. And I think it's human nature that when you hear AI, particularly the way that it's been portrayed in the press up to last year even, is that people say, AI taking my job, AI taking my job. So I wanted to be cautious, and I engaged the owner going into this that I want to be sensitive and position this experience with what we're going to do with Hatch and AI as we're dipping our toe into this and monitoring it really closely to see what value it is going to provide to us, versus we're shifting to AI, because people hear things depending on how you deliver it. So what we did was we called in our call center manager and positioned it as though this is going to benefit you in these ways. We kind of went through the top 3 deliverables on what you could expect to see immediate benefit to. 1, you're not going to have to worry about intercepting every single message that comes through Hatch and crafting your own message. 2, over time, as we train it, we have the data, we're hoping that this is going to increase our set volume or increase our engagement. And the 3rd being, hey, if this isn't working for us, we can get out of this. But in no means is this a replacement. This is a way of being efficient with our resources and taking certain burdens off you. Yeah, they love it. The call center manager said, even right out of the gate within the first 20 days, was, God, I love Rachel. This is great because the lion's share of the volume that's coming through from a customer and speed to lead is being taken care of. Are there times that I have to, inject myself? Yes, of course. But it's really decreased the volume to which she has to pay attention to electronic customer communications. And that was a goal of this, right? Well, we started August 1st, so we had August, September, and October under our belt. So that was 3 months. When we started, our set rate of all leads at that point in time was 9.4%. After 3 months, when I looked at our set rate, it jumped to 16%. So that's a 5.6% increase. The engagement was the no replies was 87%. And after Rachel, the replies to a Rachel message, the no response was 54%. So the reverse for the reply. So we decreased our no reply score from 87% to 54% in 3 months. I think that's significant. Oh, yeah, and that's a huge time suck of the first conversation that you're going to have with a customer is going through all of those kind of perfunctory questions to kind of screen them and assess the value of the lead. And with that being done for us, we can really focus on the value proposition. I'm not worried now about unanswered customer communications through text or email. I know that they're going to be addressed and eventually filtered to where it needs to be taken care of. And also it gives me data so that when I am explaining the results of the customer journey, particularly during the speed to lead time, that I can draw some conclusions from that. And I will tell you that going into this, I had zero experience in customer relationship marketing other than, blasting emails and text and all of that kind of stuff. So when I was able to kind of sink my teeth into Hatch and through the aid of my day-to-day account manager, was able to really understand how it all worked and what I could do to improve the customer experience along the way. And not only understand the mechanics of it, which have definitely paid dividends, having this on, whether it's traditional Hatch or whether it's AI, this kind of on autopilot for us. We don't have to worry about individual emails. That made me feel like, wow, we are ahead of the curve on this. My account managers and then the ancillary teams that supported have always been incredibly patient and receptive and responsive to questions that I had about this new, for me, technology. And that made me feel great, Kristen, because if it's really new and it's technology, and I would say that they handled me beautifully, knowing where I was in my career development in this discipline, respected the fact that I had so many years of marketing in traditional marketing, and were very patient with kind of taking me, not by the hand, but taking me through the process and showing me the value and the ways of setting up to where I wasn't being condescended to, and where they respected me and I respected them. So I thought the relationship, long answer, but the relationship that I developed with my account team and then the ancillary team that did the work for me is so lovely and respectful and a pleasure. We're just not fighting to get stuff done. They appreciate that I have a strategy behind it and I'm not tasking them with things to do, like do this, do this, do this, do this, and barking orders. It's like, let's have a conversation about the best way, and we're partners in this. And you don't always get that from a company that supports you, whether an agency or another service. People want to feel respected and want to feel like they're being listened to. And when I'm listening to you, Jim, I want to resolve your problem versus talk to the hand, it makes all the difference. And your folks are very well trained to do that. And just another shout out to another team, which is when I was going through the kind of the reprogramming of my campaigns with the new CRM, I talked to a gentleman named Jamie Green, and he walked me through kind of all of the rules and what to look for in dispositions and call results. And he sent me a summary of the call in a Word document as, hey, here's the plan here. Would you take a look at it, see if I missed anything? And I gave him some feedback, and within 12 hours, I had a new plan. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that just makes our lives so much easier. I felt that was above and beyond. Yes, I would recommend Hatch, and yes, I have. So, because I've been super happy because I'm so excited about this technology and what I'm learning, and in the home improvement industry is a brave new world for me. So as I'm telling people how I've advanced in my career and that I'm in a new frontier here, I'm being able to say to them, even people who are more technology savvy than me, say, hey, I'm using this tool that is a customer relationship tool that I've never seen before, and it is a game changer for us. and I've only scratched the surface of it. And I want to tell you what it does. Because I think that it has benefits not only in the home improvement industry, but potentially in lots of other industries also, because it's like nothing I've ever seen before. I love to have those conversations to be able to say to my colleagues, let's check something out that's new, that's going to really rock your world. And a lot of them have bit and it'll like, yeah, tell me more about this. I was unaware of this. Somebody said to me one time, the closest we got was, oh, it sounds like Twilio. Not exactly. So, but again, it's exciting to me to be able to share what I'm doing and how it's working for us, and that it is such a different approach than any of us have ever used before, that I talk about it quite frequently with colleagues. Like, I worked at a company when we were in the industry of renting construction equipment or industrial equipment. I mean, we struggle with that ongoing customer nurturing and communication beyond emails. And I was just like, man, this would have made a huge difference. I don't know if they're onto something else or they're even exploring other platforms, but that's an example where it's like, this could fit so many different holes for marketers in how they're building relationships.